Galnet News. Your galaxy in focus. 27th of December, 3300. Breaking news here on Galnet. The Ho C system, a high-tech economy home to 25 million, has been plunged into civil war, with the formerly controlling Ho C Corporation, an independent faction, being challenged by Jet Comms Limited, their Federation counterparts. There have been reports of commanders smuggling weapons into the system to fuel the war effort. At the time of reporting, Ho C Corporation still retained just one of the three stations in the system, Hand Ring, while Steiner Hub and Alexiev Enterprise, both outposts, remain in the hands of Jet Comms. It is clear that the disruption caused by this conflict will have an impact on the surrounding area, as many have come to rely on this high-tech system's abundance of goods and services. Announcement from Jet Comms and the Ho C Corporation have not yet been forthcoming. In the Empire today, for the first time, Aisling Duval revealed a little of the state of mind of her father Harold on Late Night with Aaron Smith. He is no longer considered by many as heir to the throne, following the Emperor's formal declaration that he is not of sound mind. She said, "My father is a kind man, a gentle man, a thoughtful man. He has always loved parties, and some have criticised him for that. It has perhaps taken its toll on him too. He is only 70, but does look a lot older now, I'll admit. But that hasn't taken away his kindness. His father had always disliked him, and that is something I can't understand. I suppose it is fair to say that they dislike each other. I'm sure many of the things Harold said and did in his earlier years were to annoy Hengist, but rebelling against a parent is not such unusual behaviour for a youngster. Taking away his throne is a spiteful act." It is clear from the social media response to her comments that she has avoided the question of his sanity. More importantly, it makes her claim to the throne more tenuous. In what is usually a quiet time for politics, the Shadow President has given an interview to support Admiral Vincent. "Our military forces," he said, "have always operated independently of government. In fact, some of the worst events in our long history were caused by political meddling in military matters. President Halsey is out of order to distance herself as she has. Our forces need to be able to enforce the law in far-flung systems, and we should be pleased that they do very well. It is clear that sometimes the law they are enforcing is the problem, and it is up to Halsey to change that. If it is indeed the case that these actions took place without direct orders from the President, it suggests a rift between the beleaguered President and her top admiral." A peaceful Christmas demonstration which started on Christmas Day continues on the steps of the Congress building in Olympus Village on Mars. This year Christmas falls during the cold season, and the students are wrapped up warm, mostly dressed in red and white Santa outfits. Above them, a giant repeating hollow of the burning warg running from the Field of Flames plays. The protesters chant "Baby Killer" in between renditions of various carols with amended words to reflect the protest. News feeds are now carrying this story throughout the Federation, but members of the government have been unavailable for comment. The chants were also heard earlier this week as Federal President Halsey spoke in public about the situation in the Kappa Fornacis system. It appears a crisis has emerged in the LHS 1914 system, where skirmishes have erupted as the major factions there vie for power. The Federation-aligned LHS 1914 Liberals currently have the greatest influence in the system, and the independent LHS 1914 Natural Incorporated have been dragged into the conflict, with their economy now on the brink of collapse. Although LHS 1914 Systems, another Federation faction, have stayed on the sidelines so far, they have made clear that they will denounce any support given to non-Federation factions in the system. The Nationals of LHS 1914, also independent, have chosen not to get involved in the power struggle at this time. So far, there has been no official statement from either side over this new skirmish, but commanders are reminded to choose a side carefully if visiting the system. Imperial Senator Torval spoke to reporters yesterday. In a frosty response to a question from a reporter climbing into a speeder, Senator Torval replied, "All this infighting over the succession is unseemly. I have at least as much Imperial blood as that Arissa Lavini woman, and you don't see me clamouring for the throne. Any fool can change their name to Duval, but it makes no difference. I may disagree with Senator Patreus on many things, but he is right on this matter. We must do what is best for our beloved Empire, not glory for an individual. In the absence of a clear, well-prepared successor, the throne should go to the senator most popular with the citizens, and like it or not, That is currently Patreus. The comments come after Torval's victory over the slave rebellion in the Sorbago system, and her freeing of 10,000 unregulated slaves in the Federation earlier this week. More on the developing situation in the HR 7327 system now, where the Dukes of Mikon, a former Empire faction, continue their expansionist plans. The controlling faction, HR 7327 Dynamic Commodities, has seen its influence wane over the past few days, but at present, the Dukes of Mikon only hold a 9% sway over their immediate neighbours. Some will see this as hardly surprising given that they number just 1,200, but others will see this progress as somewhat remarkable, no doubt fueled by a PR campaign to bring commanders to their aid. With no Federation or Empire presence in the HR 7327 system, it seems set to remain a backwater for the time being, but Galnet will continue to report on updates in this unlikely expansion campaign. And that's the Galnet news for today. Tune in next time to keep your galaxy in focus.